forgive me if you alluded to this, but will there be a focus, not just from the task force, but otherwise, towards a gasoline tax? And if so, would you contradict or would you concur with Senator Vitter's commentary in the campaign last year that only 11 cents out of every dollar makes its way to bridges and roads? The other 89 cents is spent on administration. I believe he even referenced state police had braided the trust fund to help fund a pay raise. So is there going to be a focus on a gasoline tax? And if so, how does the administration plan to provide assurance that there won't be further raids of the nature he alluded to?
At the state level, I think the first thing we need to do is make sure the resources we're taking in to the state transportation trust fund are actually used for highway and bridge construction and repair. Last year, of all the state revenue taken in to the state transportation trust fund, only 11% was used for actual highway and bridge construction and repair. 11%. Now, I don't think it's reasonable to go to voters and say we need more money when 89% of that's supposed to go for that purpose is being used for other things. Overhead, pension systems, bureaucrats, state police, you name it. So I think step one is to change that situation, grow that 11% to the great majority of that pie to, number one, put more resources where they belong, actual concrete and steel and overlay, and number two, rebuild confidence, rebuild trust, if you will, in the state highway trust fund.
Thanks.
So the question is on the gasoline tax and whether there will be a proposal to change the gasoline tax and how we ensure that the administrative costs with the current transportation trust fund are lowered.
Yes.
Okay. The HCR 11 task force deferred the transportation infrastructure piece to the governor's task force established to focus on infrastructure. That task force met for the last 5 months, went through all of the issues surrounding transportation and went around the state and heard from stakeholders around the state. The 89% figure that you quoted is not an accurate figure for the administrative cost associated with the current transportation infrastructure planning and delivery system. What the Secretary of DOTD, who I think was here a few weeks ago, probably went into a great deal giving you the information on what their current administrative percentages are, but the 89% is far higher than it actually is. It's a much lower number. And from the governor's perspective, he heard the citizens. And so you will find that state police is not a part of the transportation funding anymore. They are no longer receiving those dollars. The governor believes and has made sure that we are only using transportation dollars to fund transportation, that we're not using it in other areas of the budget.
So Senator Vitter was flat out inaccurate when he said those?
I can't speak to whether Senator Vitter was flat out inaccurate. I typically don't quote Senator Vitter, so.